We can hear you.
Okay, good. So, welcome to the 21st Video Community of Practice meeting. I'm Pankaj Agrawal, founder of Next Software Solutions and working group leader of this community of practice. So, let's get started. If anyone is here for the first time, I would like you to introduce yourself. Mike, are you here for the first time?
Yes, this is my first time. I'm Michael Storter. I work for JDA Software in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we are starting to implement xAPI, and we want to integrate our videos. And so I had saw a couple of your previous recordings online and read through the webpage, so I joined and just wanted to kind of see what's happening.
Okay, that's great. So let's review the last meeting. We moved the meetings from first Tuesdays to first Mondays since the last meeting on November 7th. We also discussed on prototypes that John Keevan and Jason are working on. And after the last meeting, Jason made some corrections to the published vocabulary. So if anyone can spare some time, maybe please check and let us know if there is any more issues or corrections required for the published vocabulary. The link to the published vocabulary is here. I'm sending in the chat. Yeah, this is the published vocabulary. So if anyone can find any issues, any corrections required, any changes required, you can let me or Jason know, and we'll get it corrected. Now let's come to this meeting. So I have been working on the documentation that we have. I have done some work, not much, on the statement data model. So this is where we are. I've added the statement ID, actor, verb, initialized, verb, played. So I still have to add more verbs and the other stuff. So I'm referring most of it from the CMI 5 statement model. One question: the CMI 5 addresses the content as an assignable unit, so they call it AU. Currently, what I have written is I've called it LRP, Learning Record Provider. Anyone sees any issue with that word, or anyone can?
No, I think that's a good distinction. This is Jason, and the whole AU acronym for assignable unit is carried over from AICC from a long time, and that's the equivalent of a lesson in SCORM. They just used to call them assignable units. So yeah, I think that's appropriate. LRP is good.
Okay, great. So
you might want to spell out LRP, or I guess it's assumed if it's defined in the spec already, or you've got it in the glossary. Okay, never mind. That's good.
Yes, I've added in the glossary. I think.
Yep.
Let's see. So in the LMS, if I click on LMS, it goes to the glossary. But for LRP, it doesn't show that. So maybe I should reduce it.
Sure.
Change it. Hmm. Did- What did it do? So I'll need to delete this and add a new one, I guess. Hmm. Maybe it takes some time to publish it. Oh, where is LRP? Interesting.
And I'll be glad to help do this later if you want to give me access as well, Pankaj. I don't know if everyone wants to just stay on the call just to go through these edits right now, though.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, fine. So do you have any update on the prototypes you want to share?
I don't have any update. I don't think Jonathan's on. I was able to go back and make some of the updates to the vocabulary we published, but the prototype work, I have been traveling 3 out of the past 4 weeks, so I haven't had time to work on anything yet. But I don't know if perhaps Jonathan Keevan has. I know he'd sent the link out, but it was an early stage document at the time. There was a few comments on the vocabulary page I was gonna maybe go through and talk with you all about if you had a few minutes.
Okay. So should I?
Real quick, but before you do that, what prototypes are you looking for?
Well, I was looking at making something with JW Player, and Jonathan from the University of Hawaii was looking at making something with Video.js. So we, could be persuaded to look at the Video.js instead, but
Well, I was going to say because I've got some for JW Player because that's what we use.
yeah, I mean that's what I had originally started with, was the one that your intern or whatever had started working on, but I was looking at maybe using the more recent one version of the player. I don't know if it's
Oh, okay.
any better.
Yeah, I don't know if they updated the API for the on play on all that fun stuff.
I think those should still be. Yeah, I think those should still be the same. Hopefully.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I've got that. I've also got another one I can set, or I'll send you the link to the GitHub once I get it posted. That I just did with recording segments that I kind of broke to COP. I didn't exactly the way we wanted, but hey, it works. So I can send you that if you want to take a look at the code I used for that, since I kind of borrowed liberally from a former ADL project.
Sure. We'll borrow right back from you.
That's good. So yeah, if that works, it might help speed things up maybe. So yeah, does anyone have experience with both JW Player and Video.js?
No, the documentation seems pretty good. At least for the JW Player, it's pretty extensive documentation, so you can figure out how to do whatever you want to do. It seems like I guess the devil's in the details. Looking at some of the values, I guess this goes back to some of the feedback I had on the vocabulary profile. I wanted to make sure those are right before spending too much time in there trying to code something to store certain values or data types that may or may not be correct.
Yep, I agree. Okay, cool. So where were we? So I guess the key thing is getting this documentation done, and yeah, some prototypes, but having a good documentation will always help for prototypes. If anyone can spare some time, I would definitely use some help.
Sure, I'll be glad to help. Trying to recall what email account I have set up inside of GitBooks.
Is there a way to share, or what is the best way to collaborate?
Inside of GitBook, you can go to the settings and enter in people's email address and add them to be contributors to the book.
Okay.
So you could ask, folks on this call or via email if anyone would like to help. And then, if you go back to the dashboard, there you go, and go to that book, edit, and then go to, I think there's a settings tab where you can invite contributors. Oh, no, that's the editor. I'm sorry. Oh, there it is, settings. Collaborators. There you go. My email is jhaig75, 2 A's. There you go. There I am. Oh. Yep. So I'll get an email and access to that. And anyone else that wants to, you could just paste their email in there. And
anyone else?
Yeah, it looks like I've got some time, so just Mark, I'll dig into it and see what it looks like.
What is your email ID or maybe Git ID?
It's at elearnguy@gmail.com.
I think it was without the ing. because I saw his name come up there. Yeah. Autocomplete.
eLearnGUI@Gmail.
E-learn.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Mark Grant.
Okay, cool.
And do you already have a GitBook account, Mark?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Young guy. Yeah, I've got a good bit of history on that. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So that was easy. So anyone has any suggestions or any changes you would suggest, or a plan of action, how we should proceed, or need to change any course? So in this statement data model, we have to complete the verbs. So currently I have only 2 verbs here. So we have currently only 2 verbs. We have to add the other verbs. We have to add extensions object. So the point of reference is the CMI5 statement data model. So we can use some of it. Maybe
Yeah, except for we don't have LMS obligations, so that's nice.
Yeah. And then there's an object must be present specified. So a lot of this wording might change based on our requirement, but the structure will most probably be very similar. In the result, we'll have an extension in the result. So the CMI5 has one topic for the extension, and it includes both result extension. Yeah, so they have only result extensions. We have some context extension as well as result extension. So there might be some adjustments required in the structure based on that. But overall, it will be very similar to the structure here. Context registration, context activities. We'll have a different video category. If I don't know if we have defined a video category. If required, you can define. No.
Do you have the hypothesis Chrome extension installed? Because that's what we were doing to add comments on this page.
I had it installed. I had it. I don't know why it is not showing up. Anyway, I can install. Later, I had it installed, but I don't know why it is not showing up. Okay. Yes. So one of the key part will be the statement data model. Apart from that, we'll have to add some more sections to maybe the overview or a separate page between overview and statement data model. I've added few references. We can add more references if required, and the glossary section is pretty good. Yeah, Gitbook has some good things. Let's see. If I hover over it, it shows the description. That is good. Is there any suggestion or anything else that we want to talk about?
Yeah, this is Jason. If you can all pull up the video vocabulary real quick, I was going to go through some of the, or I can, if you want me to share my screen, I've got the hypothesis extension installed. I was going to go through some of the comments.
You want me to pass on the presenter role to you?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I have to download the app. Hold on a second. I have the app. Yeah, try it again.
Hi, Jason. Are you there?
I can still see it's Mark.
Jason, are you there?
Well, hypothesis looks really nice, but I think we lost it trying to get it.
Hi, Jason. What is the difference between this and screen size?
Yeah, sorry, I just joined back in. I had to download the app. Did you see Jonathan's comment? Oh, okay. Looks like you replied back to him. I didn't even see the response.
Which one?
Which one are you looking at? The top one, where he's talking about using objects.
Yeah, we had discussed on the last meeting, and
Oh, okay. I missed that.
yeah, I had replied on November 8th. Yeah, so it was the last meeting. Then I see one from you.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize you guys had already discussed those ones. So are we keeping that with the heat map?
Which
That was
one?
the reason for the heat map. I guess he was asking why. Which one? The string value.
Yeah, he was asking
Okay.
if we should convert it to object.
Yeah. So that one stays, right? And then the second one was about why use X for width times height.
Yeah, so we had discussed this in the last meeting as well.
Okay.
This heat map, I don't know where it is. String value is one. Yeah, so for this one, the thing is that the same format is used elsewhere in the spec
Oh, okay.
for the matching type in the interacts, the CMI, sorry, in the SCORM interactions. So
Okay.
the CMI interaction, when you see the correct response pattern, it is using this dots and commas. So I had just used this format just to be consistent with this format. It's nothing that we cannot change. If
Yeah.
if there is a overall consensus that we should change it, I don't see any problem changing it. It was just to
Okay.
keep things consistent. Programmatically, it is not very tough to convert this into an object. One or two line code.
Yeah. I mean, programmatically, if it makes more sense to do it that way, I don't see anything wrong with it. Just because it was that way in the other examples or whatever in the spec doesn't mean doesn't make sense. I'm not opposed either way. I guess we'll find out if we make these prototypes.
Yep. And apart from this, yeah, so the next thing was about the width and height. He suggested that we can use object for width and height. The reason we used 800 by 600, this kind of format is because it is very prevalent and used generally everywhere to denote the size
Okay.
of screens and those kind of things. So it is one thing. So just to use that, we had used it. There is no reason we cannot change it to object. In the case of this playback speed, we used an X because it is a very common denomination for denoting playback speed. It is used in several places, like in QuickTime. I have also posted some screen sorts. So
Gotcha.
when you see in QuickTime, you see this kind of format: 1x, 2x. Even in VLC, you see similar format. X means multiplied by, so it is
Right.
2x means 2 times. Now,
Yep.
I forgot this. It is good time. I think we should change. We should remove this negative because negative will not be there. It will be, if it is slower
Possible.
than normal speed, it will be decimals. So it might be 0.5x or 0.25x. So if it is half the normal speed, it will be 0.5, 0.5x. If it is 1/4, it will be 0.25. Just like in this case, it is 1/2x. So
Oh, I
half
see.
is
I see.
0.5x. So 0.5x will be half times the standard speed.
So you have speed, and then you have direction, reverse or forward, as two separate controllers.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
pretty.
So in QuickTime, yeah, there is reverse as well. So if you want to support reverse format, I don't know if it is used anywhere, but if you want to support reverse, we can have a negative. -1. Right?
Well, do we need to add another element for direction then?
No, if we want to support direction, we can just leave this negative values. Maybe we can remove 0 because I don't know if 0 will be there at any point of time, because 0 means paused. So we can remove 0 and maybe add a 0.5x and -0.5x. So minus will be direction, negative direction in that case.
That controller interface you pulled up, what was that from?
This one?
Yeah. Gene?
This is I think it is QuickTime.
QuickTime?
Yeah.
Is that a common controller interface for all the video players too? Do they break out those functions separately, the direction and the speed?
Might not be. Like, for example, in VLC screenshot, I see that it is like this. So I don't know if we bring it this side, it might be negative or what, or maybe half and 0. So I don't know if every player has a rewind kind of thing, reverse playing. I'm not very sure. Some player might have a reverse playing, but I guess a lot of them might not have a reverse playing. So if we use negative, we can denote negative. Yeah, we have already written here. So yeah, negative equal to rewind and positive equal to fast forward. So yes, we can leave negative, but we can add, remove 0 and add 0.5x and -0.5x. So that might be clear. What do you say?
Well, it seems like you almost need another statement to represent the direction independent of the speed, because speed is a numerical value. Like you said, it's a multiplier. Where direction is, it's kind of like forward or backwards. There's still only two options there. I don't know. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? Capturing that?
I don't know. The negative seems to make sense that it's reverse, and then positive is forward. But I'm good with anything.
Yeah, that seems intuitive to me. I guess I would look at it as, I don't know how often this is going to happen. I wouldn't want to dwell on this.
Okay, good point. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, in that case, we can remove 0 because 0 will not be a possible value. And
At 0.5. Right.
add 0.5x and minus 0.5x.
Fair enough. I will do that. Did you already have that in the notes there? In the hypothesis notes?
I think here. Maybe I can add another note. Let's change the description. Is that fine? Okay. Next. And next is your comment on screen size versus video size. So screen size is the entire screen or the browser. So screen size is the larger thing. For example, in this browser, this entire thing is the screen size, but the video will be in a small part of that screen. So actual video might be playing in a very small section of this screen, and video size will be that size of the video, but screen size will be the available full size of the screen if it is available, or the browser viewport size if the screen size is not available. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Just making sure. So the values are pretty much the same types of values that you would store in screen size. It's just the difference is one is the actual native size of that video that the user, as the user sees it, and the screen size is how much screen real estate they actually are, or with their resolution. Wait, that's not the resolution. How much screen size they have.
Yeah.
A lot of times it seems like these will be the same thing, depending on if they like maximize the size of the video. So,
So
same with.
So if the video is on the half part of your browser, the video size will be half of the screen size.
Yeah.
When you're playing a YouTube, generally it starts with a very small section of your screen, almost a quarter of your screen, and then if you do it full screen, that will be a different thing.
Now for resolution, should we keep those at the? I guess we're just keeping those values. I don't think we have to differentiate the resolution any more than what those are, do we? Like 1080. What do we need to put, like 1080p or or does that matter if it's interlaced versus what is it, progressive or whatever the notation is for resolution, or is it just we're just looking for that dimension of pixels per inch, whatever the highest is that it was shot in?
Don't have any idea about the interlaced versus the other one you said. So
Yeah.
If this doesn't address that, maybe we need to see how we can add that. Adding a P is possible. Again, it is.
I wonder if it's even possible though I guess you couldn't capture that. You would just specify that if you wanted to about the video, but.
Yeah, generally, some players have a selection of the resolution in terms of they either quality or resolution, or so some players have selection like 360, 480, 720,
Yeah.
and some players have just a simple versus standard definition versus high definition.
What about like the new, like the 4K, that ultra high definition? But do we want? I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, like, do we want to express not just the width but also the height, because those can vary depending on the setting.
I don't know. So ultra high is there?
It's like pixels by line. Isn't it like pixels by lines or something like that? But I guess what I'm saying is, should the resolution one be consistent with, instead of it being an integer value, should it be the same type of thing as screen size and video size? Some number times some number.
It depends on how it is represented and how it is available to the script in the player. So I don't know if the height is available all the times. 4K UHD pixel wide pixel tall.
See, the height seems like it varies, I guess, on the 8K. I haven't even heard of 8K. Jesus.
So I guess height might change based on the width or the format. Yeah, I don't know.
So I guess my question though is, should we capture the value for resolution to be the same as how we are doing screen size and video size?
I don't know if it is available. The first thing would be that, because generally when I see things about quality, it is either 360, 480, 720, 1080,
Okay.
or it is SD versus HD. So
It'll
if
depend.
Good.
It'll depend on your player.
Yeah. So should we make that more flexible? Possibly.
if any player is providing that information for the resolution, for the quality, we can be flexible. But if it is not available anywhere, I think it might add to confusion, because no
Okay.
one would have seen 180 by 640 for the quality resolution, and
Oh, you see that on,
it might add
you
to
see that
confusion of the screen size and video size.
Yeah, I think you're actually, from the players, you're more likely to see an actual resolution than, you know, the 720p, 1080p, 1080i. They're more likely to report back the actual physical resolution than a human designated identifier.
By physical resolution, do you mean the resolution of the video being played or the size of the video being played?
Both.
Okay.
Because it'll go through, you know, because you're gonna have to take into account, you know, if I'm watching it on a cell phone or a computer screen. Actually, I could still have the same resolution. I mean, good Lord, my S5 has a better resolution than my laptop screen, I think. But that also depends on how I hold the phone. If I'm holding it one way, that picture's a lot smaller. If I hold it in portrait or vertical than horizontal. So the APIs are going to make that information available. It's just a question of how that's made available, in what format.
Yeah, so there are two things. One is the size of the screen or the resolution of the screen. So resolution of the screen will be kind of the size in terms of pixel of the screen, but the resolution or the quality of the video would be the quality being downloaded from the server. So let's say if we are playing a YouTube video and we are playing 1080p, the 1080p version of the video will be downloaded from YouTube and will be played on your screen. Now,
okay, but now you're talking about two different things. Now you're talking about a quality selector versus resolution.
Yeah, so this resolution is the quality.
Yeah, so that's not resolution. Those two words don't go together.
It is a confusing thing. I think we had this discussion before as well. So if you see this UHD Alliance, which
resolution. Yeah, resolution is defined, and I always get this backwards, so I'm just going to assume I get this wrong. Resolution is defined by height by length, which probably means it's length by height. Quality is, yeah, that 1080p, 1080i, 720p, 720i, whatever. Strictly speaking, that's not a resolution term. That's 1080p is a marketing term more than anything else. So if you're collecting resolution, that's going to be two physical integers. If you're collecting a quality, that's an attribute for a predefined setting. Like for example, in YouTube, you can select 720, 420, 180, I don't know, whatever they are, I forget. That's something that very specific player makes available based on predefined options. That's not resolution. That's not equal to resolution.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that's what I was trying to get at. But yeah, I just opened up YouTube, and you're right. Like if you hit, I have the default setting as HD, but if you click settings and then you hit quality, you've got 1080p, 720p, 480p, 360p, 240p. Everything's set up as those are the quality settings. But you're
Yeah.
right, that can vary between players.
So some player might call it quality, some might call it resolution. The thing is, when you
Well, if I
talk
call
about HD, is it HD is a quality or is it a resolution?
Well, but the other problem is like, so example, if you select 480, you're not necessarily getting 480p because 480 letterbox and 480 widescreen are two different resolutions.
I didn't get you.
If you go to YouTube and you select, so the video that Jason was just looking at, if you go to YouTube and you select the 480,
Yeah.
you might be getting full 480 SD, which is somebody 480 by 640. Is that right? I can't remember. You might be getting that if it's letterbox. If it's widescreen, you're actually going to get 480 by something else.
Yeah. So
that's not a 480p is not a resolution.
Yeah, it's maybe, I guess by YouTube's definitions, it's a quality, predefined quality setting. Like the screen size and video size we have set, those are to me resolution values because you have a
so an HD is a resolution or size or quality.
HD is a marketing term.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, look, the reality
Agreed.
is, if we're talking about people that are going to record this kind of information, they know what resolution versus quality is.
Right. And if your video size is 1080p, well, it's the quality is 1080p, which is high quality.
Well, I mean, if your TV is 1080p, that's just marketing buzz to mean your TV formats at these particular, usually it's 9:6, sometimes it's 9:10. So I mean, the reality is even 1080p does not have a 100% strict definition. Although, what is it, 1080 by 12 something, 1290? Oh, I forget now. I'm terrible with math.
It is very tough to get a good reference to what should it be. Because I have seen in several places where they call 1080p or 48p as quality, and several places where they call it resolution. So quality can have different level of measurements. Resolution is comparatively more specific. So when you say 1080p, it will be 1080 pixel wide. So the video being downloaded will be 1080 pixel wide. If your screen is more than that, it might interpolate and increase you to show that video. If it is small, it might reduce that and show you, but the downloaded video will be 1080 pixel wide.
But if we already know how wide it is, why don't we just use video width? Why do we need another attribute?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
No,
It just seems we're having to put in multiple things if it's already known that that's what the video dimensions are.
So there are two video dimensions. One is the video downloaded from the YouTube, let's say, and the other video dimensions is one that you are watching. So if you select 1080p, the video being downloaded is 1080p. But if you are watching it on, let's say, an older device which is only 640p wide, so the video being watched is 640p, but the video being downloaded is 1080p. So there are two video dimensions. So when you say video size or video dimensions, it will generally be assumed the size of the video that you are watching, and the size of the video being downloaded is generally assumed to be the quality of the video being downloaded. So if it is 1080p, it will be better quality than 640p or 480p video.
All right. So what you're saying, so what you're looking at is, if I have an old device, or here, even if I have a computer screen that's set for 480 by 640,
yeah,
no matter what I download, whether it's the 480, the 720, or the 1080, it's going to play in 480 by 640, no matter what I do. So what you're looking at is the difference between the resolution I'm downloading and the resolution I'm actually playing.
Yeah, so the one I'm downloading is the quality of the video I'm downloading, and the one I'm playing is the size of the video I'm playing. So if I just reduce my screen browser size, it will reduce the size of the video that I'm seeing. That is one way to reduce the video size. So video dimensions will change, but the quality of the video being downloaded will not change.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would change that to quality then. I mean, it's not resolution.
Yeah, if you wanted to match how YouTube's describing it, that's what they call it, actually, quality, and then each of those, just the width.
And I just realized I've been talking into the wrong mic this entire time.
Huh. Well, you sounded clear.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good.
Agree that it should be quality by my understanding.
Jason, before I forget, I just chatted you the link to the GitHub with my DevLearn abomination. It's conference code. Don't laugh.
Okay. Well, thanks, man.
That.
Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it.
Just remember, it's conference code. Okay. Don't.
Hey, I'm sure it's good. It's fine. Thank you.
Anyone else has any suggestion over video versus resolution?
Yeah, no, maybe we can take it offline and research a little bit more and it's fine. I think via email we were looking at some other schemas and stuff and how some other groups were representing stuff. I'll put that. There's a paste a link in the chat window. You could look at that maybe a little bit, and chew on it, see if they how they represented it in this XML schema from this METS group. Just trying to look through it real quick. But and why don't we try to address it on the next meeting, and maybe through creating some of these prototypes, we'll come back and have a more informed decision, because we have it in a real world scenario where we can determine if it's even needed or not.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. So thanks everyone. See you in the next meeting on let's see when it is, on 2nd January. So will it be a holiday? Will you guys be available?
Yep, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, it's strictly speaking, it's a holiday in the U.S. It's because it's everybody gets that day off in observance of the 1st, or a lot of people do. But I'll be around.
Okay.
Oh,
great.
wait. What date is that?
January 2nd.
Yeah, it's Monday. January 1st
Oh.
is Sunday.
Yeah, I will be off. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Can we try the 9th, even though it's inconsistent with what our normally recurring schedule is, so we don't have to wait 2 months to talk again?
Well, it would be the first business Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, technically. Technically it would.
Well,
Yeah,
good.
I don't mind if that works for you guys. So should we do it on 9th?
Yeah, let's do it on the 9th.
The night sounds good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the 9th works great. Thank you.
Fine. So I'll change it here. 9th. Great. So thanks everyone. See you on January the 9th. Have
Okay,
a
great.
good new year.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye,
much, guys. Bye-bye.